afternoon, or rather good evening, from San Luis Obispo, California. I am fidgeting to try to get my equipment in order, and I'm going to turn the camera around as we walk on Marsh Street through downtown. Protesters just started a march. You can see city vehicles trailing us. They just started a march at Emerson Park right on the other side of these buildings. And they're marching in the direction of the courthouse, I believe. Hello, Terry. Thank you for tuning in first, if indeed you did. This is some last-second coverage on my part. I wasn't expecting to cover a protest today, but nonetheless, here I am, trailing a sizable crowd for San Luis Obispo. Hello, MZ, Liberty Rad, and everyone who's tuning in, including Olympius M. I'm glad you enjoy the streams. Hey, Jonah Curry. I don't think I have my new gimbal selfie stick, whatever it's called, on me today, but so be it. And I'll fill you in momentarily on what I've been hearing about this protest march that apparently has a lot of downtown business owners worried. Bill writes, I heard canned foods are to throw. That's been a rumor going around town. As far as I'm aware, there's no plan to throw canned food, but apparently there are people in town, business owners in town, who are concerned about that. So I'm here to check out the situation. They just had a meeting at Emerson Park before starting the march. I heard it was discussed that they're gonna lay down canned food in front of the San Luis Obispo courthouse and that it'd be donated somewhere, but I'm not sure of that. So let's just see for ourselves and find out. As the crowd marches east on Marsh, looks like we've got about 100 people here marching. That'd be a rough estimate. More news to fill you in on regarding the situation here in San Luis Obispo, which I'll do during the broadcast. For those of you who are asking, I've not been in town all this time. I just returned to San Luis Obispo today. I can squeeze my way up to the front of the crowd. There's streets blocked off here. You can see it's all empty ahead of us. Let me jog to get in front of the crowd. Thank you, G. Stevenson. Here's a look at the front of the crowd. Wow. And they're already taking photos of me, go figure. There'll be lots of people taking photos of me and filming me. Oh, this guy's trying to block me from filming. Or maybe not. Maybe that was by mistake. I don't know if he was trying to do that. Oh yeah, this guy is trying to block me from filming. He keeps running in front of my shot. Yeah, this guy right here trying to block me from... I don't know what he wants. Now we've got people walking directly at me. Over what? I don't know. Are you trying to block my shot? Looks like we have multiple people here trying to block my shot, including this guy who's dressed as a medic. Why he's trying to block my shot, I have no idea. All kinds of people filming me, trying to block me from filming. Got a whole crowd pointing cameras at me right now as I'm just trying to film the protest. You got this guy pointing a camera at me, this guy pointing a camera at me. Both of them have already tried to block my shot. See, this man just follows me everywhere and points his camera at me. They're chanting, "We ain't gonna stop until all something are dropped." I don't know if they're referring to the charges on Tiana Arata or what. I mean, she still hasn't been charged, so I don't know. But yeah, right away, as soon as I come out here today, immediately being harassed by a few people, including one dressed as a medic. Again, one of the major issues in town right now remains the arrest of Tiana Arata. One thing I might update you on today is that there's an out-of-state attorney, I believe his last name is Merritt, who's said to represent the families of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and/or Ahmaud Arbery. And this attorney is threatening to flood San Luis Obispo County with protesters until the charges against Tiana are dropped. Again, the DA has yet to file charges against Tiana Arata, but it is a continuous issue in the local community, in local politics. We just walked by Woodstock Pizza and Firestone. I was filming at this intersection last week. I think it was on Friday. Oh, all 8 are dropped. Okay, thank you. Yeah. The San Luis Obispo Police Department is recommending that the DA file 8 charges against Arata, but the DA hasn't filed anything yet. Thank you for catching that. Whoever said 8. All right, we're now turning right on the Monterey Street, approaching the San Luis Obispo Courthouse. The crowd might be growing a little bit. Looks a little larger from this vantage point. You can see up ahead, San Luis Obispo police have the street blocked off as the protesters approach the San Luis Obispo courthouse here on Monterey Street in downtown SLO. still turning on the Monterey, turning off of Oso Street up ahead. Guy in a black helmet, something I don't usually see here, and San Luis Obispo police on bicycles, something I do regularly see here, making their way up Monterey Street. Here we are outside the courthouse. Bill, I'm interested in going back to Portland. I don't know if I will, but I'm very interested in going back. Hi, Vanessa. Thank you for tuning in. I'm going to try to circle around to a position where you can see and hear. Hey, Andy.
If anyone would be kind enough to want to be the ones to hold this free Tiana sign at the top of the steps, volunteers are more than welcome.
Protesters carrying what I think is a free Tiana sign up to the doorstep of the San Luis Obispo courthouse and unrolling it as we speak. Yep, it says hashtag free Tiana.
Okay, everybody. I need everybody to line up behind the bond. We're going to go single file line. We're going to stack the stairs. Okay?
We're going to stack them to the right of the steps so people can still walk off the left.
Make sure you stack them to the right of the steps. Everybody? Got 14 ready.
Indeed, a free Tiana sign. And now there are cans being distributed, or I guess the cans were already distributed and they're wrapping that up now. I believe the plan is to leave cans here, but I'm not positive. Excuse me. Is the plan to leave the cans in front of the courthouse? Oh, okay. I didn't even put her on camera, but she put her hand up and said, drop Tiana's charges. So we've got a line, almost single file of protesters. And we have the free Tiana sign up here. And let's just take a look and see what happens. So one by one, protesters walk up the courthouse steps, leave canned food on the steps, and walk off. You're welcome, Ziggy.
So you guys put them off to the right. Walk up. The object is to build these steps up. So everybody be safe and be careful at the bottom.
See, the line winds its way from in front of the courthouse down Monterey Street slightly and into the grass over here on the courthouse property. And people are relatively silent as canned food gets laid on the courthouse steps. Curry, I don't know. Tiana is not in custody. She was let out of jail very shortly following her arrest on the night of July 21. Familiar face here. It's got a drop the charges box. I don't know what's inside that. We also have a camera right here next to the canned food. This looks like a box of, I don't know what, is that ramen? No. Or actually, I'm not sure. Jonah, I don't have the list of the charges on me, but there are 8 counts. 5 of them are felonies. 3 of them are misdemeanors. I'm pretty sure 4 of the 5 felonies are false imprisonment. I'm not positive, but I believe that's the case. But again, there have been no charges filed. Those are only the recommendation coming from the San Luis Obispo Police Department. SLO PD recommended that the DA file 8 counts, and the DA has yet to file any charges. But there's been frequent protesting demanding that the DA drop the charges, including now an out-of-state attorney talking about sending busloads of protesters here to demand the charges be dropped. It's like now they're gonna go from 1 at a time to 2 at a time.
Bring it up here.
The out-of-state attorney, I believe his last name is Merritt, and it's said that he represents the families of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and or Ahmaud Arbery, but I'm not sure of that. But he's calling for flooding San Luis Obispo with protesters to demand that Dow drop the charges. Again, the charges have not yet been filed. If they're even going to be filed, there's a chance DA Dan Dow won't file charges, although my best guess, given that he's conservative and has hinted at it, my best guess is he's going to file something. Vanessa, I heard that the food's going to be donated, but I can't confirm that. And it is being donated? Do you know who it's being donated to? Okay, so I'm hearing from this photographer that it's being donated to the food bank and the Salvation Army. Or wanted to. I guess food bank or the Salvation Army. Now protesters go two at a time, placing the canned food on the courthouse steps. Cicero, yes.
Who am I giving it to?
Oh, that's...
Oh, okay.
That would be Tiana Arata on this poster.
Oh, yeah.
That's what she looked like on July 21st. Pretty impressive drawing, painting, whatever that was. So we started one at a time, now two at a time. I mean, then two at a time, now three at a time. As the line still is winding its way over toward the grass area of the courthouse property. Thank you, Olympius M. Although I wouldn't exactly say we're witnessing breaking news here. Cicero, actually, the Tiana Arata case has already gotten national media attention. It's not throughout national media, but it's been picked up by a handful of national media outlets. I think Vogue is one of them, but I need to check on that. And now there's this attorney who I believe is based in Philadelphia, the civil rights attorney, who's weighing in on the case and threatening to bring protesters here. So slowly but surely, the Tiana Arata case does get attention. Annabelle is not here today. I believe I saw her in the chat earlier. Yeah, and thank you, Olympius. There's rumor going around town today that certain business owners downtown were worried that this was going to get out of hand with canned food. That's intentional. What's your name, by the way? What's your name? Your what? Mike?
Hi.
Ty. Nice to meet you, Ty. Well, I mean, I don't know if that's by design or what.
Kind of for fun.
I don't mind it.
I know.
I've been through much worse than some dude standing in.
I've seen your videos.
Some dude standing in front of my camera is like
I'm playing.
the least of my concerns nowadays. Alright, sorry, someone's BT and Teen Vogue. Oh yeah, this guy I guess seems to be pretty cool. Sorry, I missed that comment. BT and Teen Vogue are probably the two biggest media outlets who publish news about Tiana, according to DuckDuckGo. Olympia, someone else was asking that a few minutes ago. I'm very interested in going back. I don't have immediate plans to go back, but I'm interested in going back. There's a lot more action there than here, that's for sure. Rami, Portland's been volatile all along. First time I was there, the feds were a non-issue. It was volatile then. When the feds were there, you saw. I wouldn't really expect something a whole lot different if I go back. Oh, there's some pamphlet. I don't want to. You mind if I step over your shot? There's some pamphlet saying we demand the following. Slow to defund. I can't read the whole thing, but talks about defunding something. I believe it talks about the district attorney not charging Tiana Arata or dropping the charges.
We're doing like a super
Show you a card to
Sure. Sure. All right. So here's the card that's being placed underneath the cans. I don't know if you guys can read it, but slow to defund the. I'll just read off the card. Slow to defund the FC 136 Sheriff Coroner Ian Parkinson's budget and allocate the funds toward the FC 185 Social Services General Assistance Programs. District Attorney Dan Dow to drop all of Tiana Arata's charges. District Attorney Dan Dow to drop all of Elias Batista's charges. All right, there you go. So it's calling for defunding. I don't know how much, but defunding the SLO County Sheriff's Office, moving funds to social services, and likewise Dan Dow dropping charges or not charging Tiana Arata and Elias Batista, who was the man who was arrested while Tiana Arata was also being arrested. It might be worth noting that, with reference not to Portland but Seattle, this week Seattle Police Chief Carmen Best resigned or retired immediately following a Seattle City Council vote to significantly defund the police department. The the Seattle Council, or the majority of the Seattle Council, had voiced support for defunding the police department by 50%, which was the exact minimum demanded by the protesters in CHOP and elsewhere in Seattle. That hasn't come to fruition, but the defund vote that occurred was enough to get Carmen Best, a black woman police chief and the first black female police chief in Seattle's history. That was enough to get her to resign. I don't think here in San Luis Obispo County, the local government, at least at the county level, will be as responsive to the protesters' demands as has happened in Seattle. There's a conservative majority on the Board of Supervisors here, which controls the SLO County Sheriff's Office budget. And there's a conservative sheriff and conservative DA here. Much different than Seattle. Although I should note that the City Council of San Luis Obispo is anything but conservative, and it already has voted to allocate, I forget exactly, but I think it was $160,000 toward the black community or people of color, social services, something like that. That came up right after the beginning of the protests here, when the police deploying tear gas sparked a big reaction from many people, including San Luis Obispo Mayor Heidi Harmon, who's, at least back then, was a protest regular. Now, just about at the end of the canned food line. Although I guess we've got a couple plastic bags of canned food now, maybe more than a couple, being brought up the stairs and laid on the courthouse steps. Consul, I could be. I'm not expecting that, but I could be. There really isn't a nighttime protest culture here. It could happen, but there certainly isn't that here the way there is in Portland, or to a lesser extent in Seattle. In Portland, the action usually is somewhere between 10 a.m. and 3 a.m. It's not the way things work here in SLO, but you never know. MD, I don't know. Spokespeople here are few and far between. But again, there are rumors going around town that business owners were concerned about these cans. I was not planning on covering a protest today, and I haven't. Thank you. You want to speak today? You can see. I mean, he's one of the most vocal, if not the most vocal, protesters here in San Luis Obispo, and trying to get comments is easier said than done. In Portland, there's plenty of canned food thrown at the feds, and Portland police I'm not sure about, but this isn't Portland. Never know what's gonna happen. So you have chalking. I think this chalk has remained here for some time, which is unlike, say, what happens outside the West Precinct in downtown Seattle. So you've got the chalking, or the chalk on the ground, and now the cans on the courthouse steps with the Free Tiana sign above, being held above. And protesters gathered around the grass area outside the courthouse. It looks like we now have a medic's flag. In some ways, it's slowly starting to resemble protests in larger cities, but still just most of the time incredibly calm compared to what happens elsewhere. Sorry guys, adjusting my equipment.
Thank you everyone for coming out. I just want to give some historical context, the same context I gave over there, so in case you didn't hear it. The reason why we did this canned food peaceful demonstration today got inspiration from the 1960s at Purdue University in Indiana, where they did a very similar protest like this, except they did it with bricks, and it was Purdue University students that put bricks on the steps as a symbol of community, power, strength, and they did what we did, where they had a list of demands and they placed it under the bridge. So it's 2020 now, about 60 crazy we've been doing it that long. But it's been like 60 years since then, and so it's time to change a little bit. So we picked up the canned goods that we donated to Salvation Army on Tuesday at the end of the night. So that's the plan with that. So you might try to get a little blue picture there, show the community that came out to make that happen. But that's the historical context behind it. Second, if you look at, if anybody still has this flyer, and you're wondering why exactly we're out here, so I'm going to talk about one of the points. And I'll read it first and I'll explain it. So we plan for Smoke County to defund the FC-176 Sheriff Coroner Parking in the budget and allocate the funds towards the FC-185 Social Services General Assistance Program budget. Good. Okay, so I want to educate everyone a little bit because I've been learning some stuff this past week. About a week ago, everything I'm about to tell you I didn't know. I just wanted to become a more informed citizen so that we can make a more positive impact and make our energy more focused and more productive. So,
MD, I'll respond to that in a little while.
Meet up here for the county supervisor board meeting, and I'm just going to spell it out there because I didn't know this stuff before. So our county has a board of supervisors of 5 people. Each one of them represents a district in the county, and they're evenly divided so that each district has a nearly equal amount of citizens. So unfortunately, one of them passed away, so now it's down to 4. But typically there's 5, so that anytime there's a vote, whatever the majority is ends up winning the vote, right? 3 out of 5. So they had a meeting yesterday, as they do each month, correct me if I'm wrong, everyone.
They have
So we came
multiple
here to
meetings
listen in on
every
the
month.
meeting and figure out how we can get involved. So every county board supervisor meeting, every single one, not just in times like this, every single one has an opportunity for a public comment. And if you want to leave a public comment, you can go to the slowcounty.ca.gov website, find the agenda for the upcoming meeting. There's a phone number there, and you can leave a voicemail, and they're required to play that voicemail at the end of the supervisory board meeting. So that's one way to get your voice heard. Alternatively, you can also call in live to get placed in a queue, and if there's not too many people in the queue, you could get put on live and have an opportunity to get your voice heard live. So actually, a lot of people did that. I don't know, maybe you'll raise your hand. Was there anybody here that called in and left a voicemail yesterday? Raise your hand if you did. Nice, thank you. Good job. So, yeah, and I don't know if you heard the meeting, but there were people calling from all over the country to the board meeting, and they were leaving voicemails. Yeah. So that was pretty cool. That was an eye-opener for me. Yesterday it was my first ever board meeting that I had ever called into. I've been here in San Luis Obispo since 2016, and I just never called into it. But we did yesterday, and so that was like eye-opening for me. So while the meeting was going, they typically have an agenda, they have to attend to business and all that. So yesterday they were supposed to pass and, have the final vote on the proposed fiscal budget for 2020-2021 for Slow County. So essentially that just means how they're going to allocate the money next year through the county. Fortunately, they postponed the vote. I don't know the exact reason why, but they ended up postponing it to the next board meeting. So I want everybody to know that. Keep this in mind, because as I explained some stuff from the budget, you can actually go home and do some of your own research, and if you want to have your voice heard, you can have it heard before it has the final vote made next month. So now into some of the details. So as we were here yesterday, there's about a group of 20 of us or so. Again, just all educating ourselves on like what is local politics, what is local government, how does a county budget work. These are all new things to us. Just for perspective, the proposed fiscal budget, fiscal just means financial by the way, the proposed fiscal budget for the next year is a 577-page PDF. Okay? So that's why nobody looks at it. It's too much, right? But we decided to take a look at it, and there's a nice table of contents on it that links to, and when you click it, it jumps straight to particular points. So if you're interested in, let's say, social services, or the sheriff coroner budget, or golf course budgets, yes, there is a budget for that, we'll talk about that. You can just click that, and then it'll take you straight to that on the document, and you can see some of the details. So we had some people look through the document yesterday, and there were a couple things that stood out to us immediately that I'm going to let y'all know right now. And this is just from us looking at it for probably like 30 minutes. I'm sure if we did way more research, we could have found more stuff. So the first thing that we noticed was a little odd, and maybe it requires us to have more research done on this, but we thought it was odd that the sheriff's, what we know is like, defund the police or the sheriff's budget. On the budget, it's actually titled the sheriff coroner. The sheriff coroner. And y'all know the coroner is the one that assesses how people and determines ultimately how people have passed or have died, right? So we thought that was kind of odd. Again, maybe there's something I'm missing here that I need to learn, but I was like, shouldn't the sheriff and the coroner kind of be separate? Like, so technically, Ian Parkinson's position, his title is sheriff coroner on the budget. That's his name right next to it. So that's the first thing. It's like, wait, do I need to explain that, or do y'all see what I'm getting at, right? Okay.
Preach it, brother.
So that was the first thing, and then another thing is, so there's two different budgets. There's a bunch of different budgets in there, and there's one for the district attorney's office. They have an entire budget plan, proposed budget plan. And then there's one for the public defender's office. I think we all know what the district attorney's office does essentially, but the public defender's office is the office that is in charge of providing support to people who have been charged of crime, right? And by the way, don't think I'm like an expert on it. I literally learned this in the past like 4 days. Just like you just can look it up on your own. So we compared the two. We compared the two budgets because we were like, because those are two opposing things, right? The district attorney and the public defender. And the budget for the district attorney, the proposed budget for next year is sorry, this thing is just like really long.
Hey, keep on going. Don't be discouraged.
No, I'm good. I just gotta find it right here. One second.
MD, what were you asking about a while ago? I'll try to scroll through the chat and find it. MD asked something that I said I would respond to.
Page 144 and page 159.
Could you ask that again, MD? Whatever that was.
Alright. So the district attorney's proposed budget for next year is $12.8 million, which is an increase compared to last year, the increase is $1.28 million. So keep that in mind. $12 million for the district attorney's budget, proposed budget. So now let's see what the public defender's proposed budget is.
MD, the CHP, the California Highway Patrol, has put out a photo of a man with red hair they claim is responsible for breaking the window. You could find the photo on the CHP Stanless Obispo Facebook page. But I don't know. I don't know who did it. I wasn't there.
Well, we thought that was odd because we're like, it just shows like almost like a clear bias in the system when you're providing more money to the people that are meant to charge people and put people in prison compared to giving money to the people who are supposed to defend them in court. Oftentimes those people don't have the money to get lawyers to defend them in court. So please get there. And the reason why I'm like taking the time to make sure like I'm reading it on here because I don't want to like give you any misinformation. Like I have the 577-page document right here on my phone. I want to make sure I'm telling you all the right numbers. Okay, so another comparison. And I didn't find all of this. This was my group that found this yesterday. I'm just giving you the. Another thing we noticed that was worth noting was the difference between the county library budget proposed versus the county golf course budget proposed. And actually, I have this. I did the math.
Protesters on the grass are chanting more books.
Before this, so I remember.
All I
So
know.
golf courses are getting, if we're doing it by percentages, the golf courses compared to last year are getting an increase of 23% in their budget. Increase of 23%. Compared to libraries, they're getting a decrease of 3%. So, you can compare all things however you want to compare them. I'm just giving you some information, and just know that there's so many other things you can compare here in the budget. And yeah, and then
CTM, hang on till later on in the broadcast, and I'll let you know what we're hearing.
yeah. So that was pretty much everything I wanted to touch on. And so my concluding point that I just want to let everyone know is, and it doesn't matter if you are a student and you might not live in San Luis Obispo County after you graduate or you move on.
Yes, later on in the
But
broadcast,
whenever you
I'll
do
address
live in
Adam Hill.
America, your city or your county is gonna have they gotta have a budget. They will have a proposed budget, and they have to make it public. It's so accessible on Google. So I encourage y'all for the rest of your life, wherever you live, if you can find out when your county or your city's fiscal budget is voted on, take like 30 minutes to an hour to just kind of browse through the budget. And you don't have to look at the whole thing, just go to the table of contents, and if there's something that you feel like relates to you as a citizen, let's say you like to use the library, right? Or let's say you want to see more social services funding in the county, you know, people that may need it, then you should let that be known. You can look it up. And so what I'll end with, sorry to make this super long-winded, but back to what I started with, the demand that was on here. And actually, I'm going to give you all one more set of numbers. I know I was forgetting something.
You're welcome.
Okay. Now I'm going to give you all the numbers to the demand that is on this paper. So, to repeat, we're asking to defund the sheriff coroner budget and fund the social services general assistance program budget. And here are the numbers to them right now. The social services general assistance budget has a proposed allocation of $1.1 million. So the county is going to give them $1.1 million to keep their department afloat. The director's name is Devin Drake. Meanwhile, for the sheriff coroner, aka the sheriff, I know that. Their proposed budget allocation is $52.7 million. So 52.7 million versus 1.1 million. So I don't know. The point I'm just trying to make here, and there may be other things in the county budget that the money could better go to. I'm not saying it has to go to the general assistance fund, because to be honest, I look at the budget for the general assistance fund and it looks kind of vague, and I'm like, where is this money actually going? But that's a different story. So, but the point is, it would be nice to see several million be defunded from the sheriff coroner and applied to something like social services general assistance fund, right? And I'm sorry, I know I keep saying last thing, but like just so you know what the social services general assistance fund or program is, here's the purpose statement. The General Assistance Program provides public assistance of last resort to indigent county residents. It is for persons who are otherwise ineligible for federal, state, or other community and programs. So that's what it's for. And so I've said everything I basically want to say. And something that kind of will actually make this happen, and something I've been trying to do myself,
You're welcome, Consul.
everyone here needs to learn how to read a budget. You need to be financially literate. You need to understand, what does the word expenditure mean? What does the word revenue mean? So you're going to see that all over the county budget. A revenue is money that they're bringing in. That money that they make. The expenditures are the costs of running that department or that division. So how it works at the county, from my understanding in reading the budget, the proposed budget, they take the revenue, they take the expenditures, and they put them together, they add it. Let's say they make 20 million, but it costs 30 million to run the department, so they'll get a proposed 10 million from the county. Does that make sense? So that they can stay afloat and they break even. Another little detail to note, these are very little important things. There's no negatives present on the county proposed budget. When you look at, if any business majors here, you know this, when you look at a budget, negative numbers are represented in parentheses. So anytime you see a budget, there'll be a negative value. There'll be parentheses around the number. That means it's a negative. That means it's increasing, right? So I hope, I didn't mean to make this too long, but I just wanted to give you all a taste a little bit of like what there is still to learn. And like I said, I just learned all of this in the past week. And next month there is a county board supervisor meeting where they will have the final vote on submitting the fiscal year budget. So now is the time, if you want to see more money go to other parts of the county, I really encourage you to look at the table of contents on the proposed budget for SLO County fiscal year. And make your voice be heard through either voicemail, last public comment, or email the district supervisor that your address belongs to. Okay, I'm done. Thank you.
By the way, across the street, as is often the case here, we have slow PD bicycle cops. And back to the speakers.
So, a couple of people have asked why we keep doing these moments of mindfulness, breathing, or checking with your body. And the reason that we're doing that is because systemic oppression, racism, all systems of oppression land at the level of the body. Bodies are shamed, bodies are broken, bodies are upended, bodies are ended. And so as we continue to stand up for liberation, anti-blackness, freedom for all, we have to stay in our body. And if you are a body that is identified as white, you have the option to look away. And we're asking you not to. And in order to not do that, it's necessary to expand your capacity to be with discomfort. To keep your eyes open and watching and ready to live with the heartbreak of racism. In order to do that, you need you in your body. If you are black or brown, particularly black, we need you in your body. Experiencing joy, celebration, having moments to put down leadership, having moments to feel at ease and at rest. So that's why, for the long haul, we need us all in body. If we can stay in our body, if we can connect with a grounded calm, we can withstand and collect and organize together. Let's take a moment to just look around. This is our city. These are our neighbors. We are each other's people. So take in your people. Maybe there are people here you love. Maybe there's people here you enjoy. Maybe there's people here you don't enjoy. Maybe there's people here you're suspicious of. Just notice at the level of your body. What's alive for you right now? Maybe take a couple of big fallout breaths. Let's do that together. So wherever you are in your breathing, exhale completely. Take a slow, rich breath in. Exhale with an audible sigh. Do that 2 more times. Exhale with one more big fallout breath. Now I invite you to either close your eyes or lower your gaze or soften your gaze to something that feels neutral or comforting or nourishing. Maybe you place a hand somewhere on your body. Maybe that's low belly. Maybe it's your heart. Maybe it's your forehead. Maybe it's at your side. Find somewhere to connect with your body.
Hey, Magic Monkey, good seeing you.
For a moment, just notice your natural rhythm of breath. No need to shift it or change it in any way. Notice how breathing is going on you right now. Just notice the rhythm or the texture of your breath.
A lot of people moving around behind me. I don't know what's going on here.
You notice areas of your body where your breath feels absent, or missing, or sagging.
Looks like maybe some late arrivals going to put down canned food at the
Notice what takes you out of the breath.
courthouse steps. Or maybe to have a conversation with the organizers, I'm not sure.
5, 6, 7, ever. Notice the length of your breath. Notice the length of your inhale. Notice the length of your exhale. Maybe you can count. Once you have a sense of your breath, I invite you to even out your breath, so to come to an even, equal breath. Equal inhale, equal exhale. So for some of you, maybe that's a count of 4 and 4. For some of you, that may be a count of 5, 5, 6, and 6. Bring in an evenness of breath. We'll inhale, we'll exhale. Maybe you bring your tongue to the very roof of your palate. Maybe you bring a slight constriction to the back of your throat. Breathe ocean. We'll inhale, we'll exhale. And as you even out your breath, start to feel the weight of your body. Notice the ground beneath you. If you're standing, notice the ground under your feet. If you're seated, notice your butt on the surface beneath you. Notice your ankles against the ground. Continue an equal inhale, equal exhale. As you breathe, invite the energy of the earth to rise up for you. Feel the support of the earth. Your mind wanders, come back to your breath. Maybe place your hand on the earth. Feel connection with our first soul, the earth. In this body, you're meant to be here. All bodies are meant to be here. Galactic bodies are meant to be here. Inhale, equal exhale. Now as you breathe, start to notice your body. Get a felt sense of your body. Maybe notice the rhythm of your heartbeat. Maybe notice the temperature of your skin. Maybe notice any sensations that are present. Feel calm and spacious and open. Are you feeling rested, mobilized?
For those who may have missed it, protesters marched over here to the San Luis Obispo courthouse from a park just on the outside of downtown, and they laid canned food on top of little flyers or leaflets with their list of demands, which relate to defunding the San Luis Obispo County Sheriff's Office and giving that money instead to the San Luis Obispo County Department of Social Services, and likewise having District Attorney Dan Dow drop the charges against protest leader Tiana Arata. And once again, Dow has yet to file charges against Arata. We have San Luis Obispo police officers lounging on their bicycles across the street, and protesters now finishing up their breath work. Also a CHP. Oh, we've got more officers downtown here. Looks like Slow PD over here. and a CHP vehicle across the street. Now let's get back to these speeches.
I've been moving a billion miles an hour, so I needed that moment to just come back to the moment and just slow myself down. And so, can we please give a round of applause for Artemisia? So, hello, beautiful activists of San Luis. My name is Michael Dufresne, and I just want to say that I have so much love and appreciation for each and every single one of you for being here today. I thank you for joining us in demanding for the reallocation of funds from Ian Parkinson's budget to the Social Services General Assistance budget, and I also appreciate y'all being here to demand the dropping of all charges against Tiana Arana and Elias Bautista. If anybody was here last Saturday when we had that silent protest in front of the Steppy and Vinny, can you please raise your hand? Cool. I'm glad that you all joined us again today. Well, if you remember correctly, I kindly asked you all to join me in a moment of manifestation for 3 minutes and 33 seconds. I humbly urged you to connect with your higher spirit, whether you call it God, Yahweh, Allah, El, Brahman, or the Great Spirit of the Native Americans. And for you to ask that higher spirit to drop all of Tiana Arana's charges. At the end of the manifestation, I thank you all for joining me in that moment. And that I hope that Dan Dow can feel a powerful vibration from the mission. So, although Dan Dow may not be hearing our high, powerful vibrations, or vibrations are being heard all throughout the nation. In the matter of 4 days, my friend Leah created a TikTok on Tiana's baloney charges that went viral, in which the video has received over 50,000 views. In the matter of 4 days, my friend Melissa got Elijah Daniel. Hello, how are you? She got Elijah Daniel to spread awareness of Tiana's baloney charges on Twitter. The hashtag Free Tiana went viral. There has been more than 50,000 tweets with the hashtag Free Tiana, and it was at one point the #1 trending hashtag in the United States. For 2 days. In the matter of 4 days, Tiana's case has received national recognition from national news outlets such as Teen Vogue, US Newsweek, and Cosmopolitan. In the matter of 4 days, Tiana's case received support from recognition from the Shade Room, from T.I. Harris, and Martin Luther King III. In the matter of 4 days, the amount of signatures for Tiana's petition went from 5,000 to 10,000. It went from 10,000 to 20,000.
25,000. It went from 25,000 to 50,000. It went from 50,000 to 100,000. Then it went from 100,000 to 200,000. Then it went from 200,000 to 300,000. So like I said, those bands now may not be hearing our high, powerful vibrations. Our vibrations are being heard throughout the nation.
Hey, Joey.
And I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to say this national recognition is from these powerful manifestations that we've been doing. But I'm also not going to say that it isn't from these powerful manifestations that we've been doing. That being said, I want to bring awareness to Elias Bautista and the charges that he is facing. Elias currently has 0 signatures for his petitions for the charges to be dropped. And he also has had 0 national recognition. So we need more people to step up and... Oh, sorry. Hey, them. My bad. My bad. Sorry. So, I kindly ask you all to join me in a moment of manifestation for 3 minutes and 33 seconds. I humbly urge you to connect with your higher spirit, whether you call it God, Yahweh, El, Brahman, or the Great Spirit of the Native American. And I ask you to ask this higher spirit to drop both Elias Bautista and Tiana Arada's charges. So, if you may all, for 3 minutes and 33 seconds, get into a nice relaxing position. Get into closing your eyes, relaxing your shoulders. Breath in, let it hold.
Welcome, Annabelle. Hey, Raven Eye. What do you go by again?
Raven One Eye.
Raven One Eye. Sorry about that. You want to finish up that interview? I've got 3 minutes right now. Alright guys, I don't know if you're tuned in last Friday, but last Friday I was joined by Raven One Eye. And I'm now joined again by Raven One Eye with, it looks like a new haircut.
No, same hair. Same everything. If it looks a little different, my apologies.
Well then, my apologies, because I was the one suggesting that. What's new with you?
What's new with me? Well, I'm still piecing things together. A lot of it could be classified information. A lot of it,
Oh, I'm
maybe
sorry.
not.
I thought the street was closed.
Yeah, that's fine. It's the street. You gotta think streets. Okay. So then, yeah, a lot of things are kind of going on. Unfortunately for me, I'm still going to need like $1,000 or so just to be able to go ahead and piece my life back together. That is still an unfortunate thing for me. And it's not like I could be able to go ahead and psychologically be able to go ahead and apply for jobs or anything like that. Otherwise, I'd do that. I'm more just of a natural, humble man that's just trying to live life. Really.
Still have an issue with your documents over by
Yeah,
El Paso and Juarez,
the
Mexico?
whole governmental documentation lockdown thing.
So,
yeah.
Some of the audience, and myself included, are struggling to understand what you meant by lockdown of your documents.
Okay, so they're treating me like I'm an illegal immigrant right now just because I got caught with the bullshit failure of identification charge. Some bullshit, man. Really, it's just some bullshit. If you ask me, man, the honest truth is I can't be able to get my documentation right now because I am locked up out of my information governmentally just because of the fact that I got locked away just within walking distance from Juarez, Mexico. I was born in San Antonio, Texas, February 27, 1999, 2:03 a.m. Look up my name, Tristan Kane Meggs. You'll even see that I attended Crockett High School in Austin, Texas. I have documentation here. They could have looked it up. They had smartphones. They had computers in their, in their cop cars. I don't understand why they were too lazy to go ahead and just look up the information that I was giving them. I was giving them information. Legal, documented information that is true. So, that being said, I don't seem to understand why they didn't do that.
The protesters here behind us are protesting the San Luis Obispo Police Department, SLO County Sheriff Ian Parkinson, and DA Dan Dower. Are you having issues with local law enforcement?
I'm having issues with local law enforcement because I feel as if they're too absolute. Really, they are. I'm saying this right now with a lot of, I guess you could say, intel through basically speaking with people and using both my heart and my mind to kind of take things in, take everything with a grain of salt. I know, but a lot of these things I believe to be true for very good reason. A lot of things are happening really right now. It's not just the cops, it's the government. And if you think about what the government's tied to right now, think of a worldwide organization. How's that?
Which worldwide organization? Or what is the government tied to?
What do you say when you laugh? You say ha.
I think you stumped me.
That's a riddle. What do you say when you laugh? You say ha. Think of the letters. Think of the lettering of ha. That's my hint.
Okay, so
that's my hint.
H-A?
That is my hint.
What is that an acronym for?
Think of individuals that support being redneck, white power. That's another hint. That is another hint. I'm not openly saying it because if I openly say it, something might happen to me.
Well, I'm monetized on YouTube. I don't know if you're referring to the Nazi word. But
they're neo-Nazis, I see them as. Yes, they're neo-Nazis.
Is it an international ring of these guys? That
all right. Think of that name, right? And think of what you'd see in a bicycle club. What do you have with bicycle clubs, especially with ha in it?
Harley Davidson.
Okay, well the ha bicycle club, right? Such a joke, I'm laughing. Such a joke, I'm laughing. Really, I forgot to laugh. So I'm saying, the Ha Bicycle Club.
Yes.
The unfortunate bit about the Ha Bicycle Club of being neo-Nazis, being even self-righteous cops, being individuals that think that they can be like mythological beings and treat people like me like trash because they see me and I'm not a purebred individual. I'm a non-nation hybrid. No. But guess what? They say special education breeds for special forces, and as your omni prototype that fights to do the right thing kind of thing, but is critically unstable during active combat, it's dangerous to put me in there, even for myself, kind of thing. There's a reason why I prefer not to be in the military. There's a reason why I prefer not to be many things, and I do it to go ahead and limit myself out of just being humble.
Raven One Eye, I gotta get back to the protest, but I'll try to piece together what you're saying and try to make some more sense of it, and maybe we'll catch up again at another one of these protests.
I have my do's and don'ts for a reason.
Let's walk and talk. How about that?
Okay. With that being said,
wait, I wanna flip the camera around. Sorry about that. So someone's saying there's a guy in a Blue Lives Matter shirt. And let's just listen in on this.
I mean,
that's a very, very similar situation to
maybe he's
what
right
happened
in a
on
certain way.
21st.
It's not what's on the outside.
And,
You gotta see what Billy is, man. It's like, but there's more. It's not just the color. It's more than that.
All right,
It's the person that's who they are.
let's catch up.
It's just who they
Let's
are.
catch up more later. I want to let people hear this guy.
And I'm really nervous right now.
The conceptions of
So
pleasure didn't help me find
if
out.
I look a little shaky, if my energy isn't as up there as it normally is, just bear with me.
Oh, Hell's
All right?
Angels. Oh, I wasn't thinking of that. All right.
I hope y'all are doing
well.
Hell's Angels. Okay. Let's switch.
Here we go.
Let's switch my thinking cap back on.
So, like I said, today's energy is going to be a
Good
little
job,
lower than
individuals.
usual.
Good job.
I had some starches. No, it'd be like that. But this speech is a little less about hype anyway.
Just because I'm wearing a mask doesn't mean I'm gonna gas myself at the zoo
Let's-
with my own carbon dioxide.
Let's talk more about the Hell's Angels or whatever else later. I want to let people hear this guy.
Here's the thing. My father's got a brother.
Let's
Now,
let's
how
catch
many
up
of you
when there's a
love those
break in the
cousins
action,
like
alright?
brothers and sisters?
Okay,
Okay.
I'll explain more later.
When I was younger, I lived with my cousins for several years. So, how some of y'all have love for your brothers and sisters, that's the kind of love that I have for my cousins. So, when you hear me say cuz or cousin, that's where I'm coming from. Now, by a show of hands again, how many of y'all believe in destiny? It's okay. And, or that you're destined by
No,
the universe or some higher power to
I'm planning to
meet
make a militia.
specific person, and
Raven,
y'all will
they
have
can't
a
hear you over
major
this
impact on
speaker,
one
so let's
another's
just
lives.
finish it later.
Okay.
And, yeah, that's how I feel about Elias Batista. I knew from the moment I heard them speak, but I didn't know them or understood quite who they were just yet. Back when this whole event ignited and the country was engulfed in the flames of revolution, back when black murders at the Trotters and Pigs, around the time when San Luis Obispo was tear-gassing its own citizens and the country was locking itself down and erupting into chaos, muscle cars and black folks as far as the eye could see were taking the streets in Santa Maria. This is the first time I heard Cuz speak for the first time. This tiny dude with these shades and this mic yelling, "People's mind, people's mind," was controlling the crowd and organizing a damn good protest. This hooded figure with the dope shoes looked like somebody that could and would hold their own and had homies that would step up in a heartbeat. I remember thinking as I arrived late to the festivity, this is one cool motherfucker. I wish I could do that. Maybe I should talk to them. I never did. They were too cool for me. A week later, some classmates held a visual at a nearby park. I decided to write something so that maybe I could build my way up to what that dude was saying. I didn't finish it, like I didn't finish this one right here. And afterwards, this little dude with these round glasses, you know, and the cool shoes comes up and speaks to me. And this gentle, anxious voice tells me that they liked my poetry. I said thanks, but didn't believe them because I'm super hypercritical of everything, especially my work, because, you know, I finished it, fucked it up halfway, and stuttered over most of it, and I was totally embarrassed, and anyway. They tell me their name is Elia, or something close to that. Masks make names difficult to understand. Talk for 10 to 20 minutes about more events like this. Colleges. I found out they went to a school for organizing. That's cool. And they, and that they like poetry. That's double cool. And then they mentioned starting a group for abolition. Abolition? Like the dudes who helped free the slaves? Those guys? Okay. I'll bite. So, several meetings later, several collaborations later, I found out that the cool-ass person with the shades was the same cool-ass person setting up all the events, was the same person that I was afraid to talk to at the event because they were too cool. That was Elia. That guy who was that was too cool for me to talk to, he came up and talked to me. And we've been collabing ever since. Now, I want to talk to you a little bit more about what happened on the 21st. Now, what happened on the 21st, as most of you know, was that two individuals were arrested by the police officers, and I can't help but feel guilty for that. I can't help but feel responsible for even a little bit of it. I can't help but get this really twisted feeling in my gut when I think about this event, this protest. Even from the start of the day, something just didn't feel right. It felt like something might pop off, you know that feeling when something just might pop off? You ever just, and then it happens, and then it comes to fruition, and you think, oh shit, right, I was right, damn. That was the 21st. So, earlier in the day, I tell Elias, I'm like, bro, we should, go to this protest. You should come to this protest with me. This is their first protest that they had gone to out in San Luis Obispo. And, it's funny how things happen. So we're driving, we're listening to Roddy Ricch, and we're, just jamming, talking about organizing, talking about the things that we want to see in this community, the things that we want to see in our own community, the things that we want to see throughout the nation, and the ways that we can change them. We thought that this day was going to be pretty chill. We got to the event, we started at with a couple of folks. We started, hearing out some of the speeches that were being made earlier in the day, and we noticed that across the way there were 4 officers, and we talked about it. We said, damn, there go the pigs. Man, there go the pigs. And they stayed there, and we kept noting that they were there. We said, yeah, okay, something weird's going on, but, whatever. It's a protest, whatever. So we go marching, and here's where I start to just get all giddy about Elias, because at this march, when we take over the freeway, you see Tiana, she's trying to get everybody's attention. You see Melissa trying to get everybody's attention, and then Elias just freaks in. And he says something. He says something in Tiana's ear. He says, speak up. Say people's mic. So all of a sudden, Tiana's like, people's mic. And somebody goes, people's mic. Right. People's mic. People's mic. People's mic. People's mic. Right. And from that moment on, Tiana controlled this entire crowd of hundreds of folks on top of the freeway. And she got them riled up. And there was other shit going on with other cars, but in my head, in my brain, I went, yeah, he kind of helped out with that. He did his thing. He's low-key like that. He doesn't want all the attention. He doesn't want to be, the face of anything. Not saying that anybody does or anybody is, but that's just he. He likes to be low-key. That kind of rhymes. I kind of like that. I might stick with that. So later on in the day, we're still marching, and here's this other moment where Elias is,
I can look at it later.
Setting it up with some folks, talking to folks about, abolition, and he, little guy, marching with his mom. His first protest, he's all excited. He's walking, he's doing his thing. Elias just walks up next door, he strikes up a conversation with him, asks him, what's going on with him, how's he doing,
what's the dealio? And just see somebody work with kids and you just feel like, yeah, that's a stand-up kind of person. Kids, like, come on, man, kids, like, this was Ilias. This is Ilias. This person who puts others before themselves. This person that wants the best for everybody. This person who stands up for what's right. That's Ilias. That's my cousin. And on 21st, later that day, Ilias and I would be put into a situation where all of a sudden we kind of became family. We were already cool with each other. We already knew, like, yo, if some shit goes down, that's me and this is you, you know, we got each other, right? Whatever happens, we got each other, right? You know? And then something actually did happen. All of a sudden, as Ilias and I are walking to her car, because, you know, Ilias wanted to make sure that everything was alright with her, and wanted to make sure that she got someplace safe, because she felt very unsafe. She had mentioned that several times, because there were cops, there were pigs all over the place. And the protest was over. Not no, oh, the protest was winding down. No, the protest was over. I hope you see that. The protest was over. Okay? It was getting dark. We were putting materials away. And all of a sudden, as we're noting that there are more officers showing up, what's going on? More officers rolling up across the way, across the street from Tiana's car. All of a sudden, there's more officers this way. And all of a sudden, bam, 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 there's lights, red and blue, right here, right next to me, in front of my face. Doors open up, people charging out right in front of me. With a mission in their eyes. They were coming for Tiana. So, I go, oh shit, oh fuck, alright, well, let's fucking do this then, alright. And he's right next to me. Oh shit, alright, let's do this, okay. And we got another brother next to us, so, oh shit, okay, we're doing this, okay. Then they come at us to get Tiana. And they move. And we're like, no, don't do that. We keep our hands out. All of a sudden, I'm pushed back one of these officers, and another officer comes to the side of me and grabs me by my arms. I don't know if you saw that clip, but that clip of the dude who got grabbed up, that's me. And then, you know, I'm sitting there trying to wriggle my arms, trying to be all tough. No, I'm like 5'7". I ain't got shit to do with this fucking officer who's like 6 foot some odd bullshit, some 200 and some odd pounds. And I'm like, what? All right, cool. Let me go. Let's get the fuck out of here. Let's do this thing. And all of a sudden, dude lets me go. And I look over, and there's still commotion around. There's still officers around. There's still a lot of shit going on. Everybody's kind of confused. Nobody understands what's going on. My thought is, shit. That whole situation is going on over there. And then I hear something about, yo, you know, was that your friend? Yo, they running across the grass. I'm like, wait. What are they? First of all, what the fuck are they running across the grass for? Oh shit. Oh. They kicked an officer in the balls? Oh shit. That's Ilias? And there's all of this confusion going on in my brain because a lot of different reasons. First of all, my buddy was gone. It was dark.
I try getting a hold of them. Can't. They're not there. Okay. Maybe they got away. That's what people are saying. No, they got away. They got away. Okay, great. Let me call them again. Nothing. Okay. Okay. Well.
Hey guys, thank you everyone who tuned in.
The situation is Tiana, so we gotta get a hold of Tiana. We gotta find Tiana because we know
Thank you.
that's the situation, right? We know that's the situation. So everybody's all worried about Tiana, and I realize, oh shit, I'm the only person who knows Ilias here, and I don't know where they are. They're not here. They're not answering their phone. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say. I don't know how to feel. I'm scared. I'm concerned for my friend, for my family member, for my cousin. They were my buddy. They were my ride. And now they're gone. One of my concerns is, shit, how do I get back home? My other concern is, well, maybe they got back home, or maybe they were arrested. And then I'm getting all of these questions of, well, where, okay, well, hey, you came here with that guy, right? You came here with that person, yeah, Ilias, yeah. Oh, well, it seems like they were arrested. Fuck, okay, okay, what am I supposed to, I don't know what to do, I don't know what to, I don't know what to say, I don't know how to, shit, well, just tell us what's his last name? As far as I know, Solario, that's his name on the social media that I got, well, what's his number? Well, on the social media, I don't know if I can give that out. Well, do you know their mom? No, I don't know anything. My family member, I don't know anything about this person, and they're gone. This is actually turning out to be a much more dangerous situation than I originally thought. And again, I don't know what to do. For the first time since I've been out here, for the first time since I've really been getting into all of this protesting and organizing and being an activist, I don't know what to do. Most of the time I can make it up as I go along, but this is a lot different. This is some child. This is somebody's kid. Alright. So I tell you this story to bring attention to the genius that is Ilias Batista. I tell you this story because this is my family, and in the midst of all of the grand awesomeness that is the nationwide hashtag Free Tiana, we've lost hashtag Free Ilias. It's not. So, I need y'all to do something for me. If we've done it, we'll wrap this whole thing up. So, things on a bit of a lighter note. Get up on your damn feet. So, we know the deal. We know Free Tiana. So, repeat after me. Free Tiana. Free Tiana. Repeat after me. Yeah. Free Ilias. Free Ilias. Free Tiana. Free Tiana. Free Ilias. Free Ilias.
Free Tiana, make sure you add hashtag Free Elias to that. Pretty please.
I'll address comments on that momentarily. It looks like there's going to be an announcement right now.
All right, everybody, we're going to walk back. Listen, once again, the way we do this, one-way street, we take the street. Two-way street, we are on the sidewalk, okay? You guys got that? Everybody got it? All right, so listen up. I need everybody kind of just line up a little bit. We're going to make this happen. Right now, Josephine's going to lead us to chant. It's very important you guys are as loud as you can be. And I mean as loud as you can get.
Okay.
Everybody line up. Pick up your trash, please.
I'm going to need you guys to repeat after me. Energy is skyrocketing.
Everybody needs to
Energy up. Energy up.
They're chanting, "We ain't gonna leave until Elias is free." Again, Elias Batista was arrested on July 21st along with Tiana Arata. As Tiana Arata was being arrested, and we have people dining here, by the way. As Tiana Arata was being arrested, there's video footage, and we're being trailed by the police again. There's video footage of a man kicking an officer in the groin. I believe that was Elias Batista, but I'm not sure. All right. I got work to do. I'll see you later. See, we've got officers trailing me. Yeah, I'm not gonna hop on one of the police bikes. Oh, and now they're marching by Giuseppe's restaurant, which has come up repeatedly because in 2018, Giuseppe's, an Italian restaurant down the street, gave a donation to the re-election campaign of San Luis Obispo County Sheriff Ian Parkinson. And because of that, Giuseppe's has been the target of protests. Sorry about the bumpy camera. I'm running to catch up with the front of the group as they march by Finney's and then Giuseppe's. You can see the crowd marching down Monterey Street, marching right by people who are dining. This restaurant right here is Finney's, and then you can see this restaurant is Giuseppe's, Giuseppe's donated to Sheriff Ian Parkinson. A lot more medic equipment than usual here today. Even a medic's flag as protesters march around Giuseppe. On the night that Tiana Arata was arrested, the protesters marched right through this parklet here where people are dining now and were dining that evening. Again, this restaurant right here, Giuseppe's, donated to the re-election campaign of Sheriff Ian Parkinson. And in recent days, the restaurant has been a target of the protesters. More a little later on the downtown business situation, as now the protesters have turned off of Monterey onto Choro Street as they march right through the core of downtown San Luis Obispo.
Stop the violence, stop the hate! 2, 4, 6, 8! Stop the violence, stop the hate! 2, 4, 6, 8! Stop the violence, stop the hate! 2, 4, 6, 8! Stop the violence, stop the hate! 2, 4, 6, 8! Stop the violence, stop the hate! 2, 4, 6, 8! Stop the violence, stop the hate! 2, 4, 6, 8! Stop the violence, stop the hate! 2, 4, 6, 8!
You can see Cavan directing traffic on Choro Street, motioning to cars to continue driving, now motioning to the protesters to march. And they now turn onto Higuera Street, the main drag here in downtown San Luis Obispo. Like usual, bicycle officers trail. You have protesters stopping traffic. Hands up, don't shoot is the chant. I'm used to hearing that during police standoffs. Not typically here. You can see lots of parklets around here where at this hour there are some people dining and drinking. That's all because of the new COVID rules in California. Kevin, there have been some members of the community voicing a lot of support for Giuseppe's. I think some other people voting with their dollars. You can see there are these parklets where people eat and drink on the street here. Looks pretty empty tonight at most of these restaurants and bars. Not as empty over here. I think the chant is out of the sidewalk into the streets as the crowd turns off of Higuera Street onto Napomo, headed for the park where they started today. Rave and I marching fist in air. You can see the street is blocked off here. That is Marsh Street that the protesters are approaching. So I'm gonna go in reverse ahead of the crowd. Okay, the protesters are returning to the park. This is Emerson Park, just outside the downtown core here in San Luis Obispo. Just adjusting equipment. This is Emerson Park. The demonstration began here today. I'm gonna get to your comments. No, Tiana Arata is not in jail right now. I'm not positive about Elias Batista. I would have to look that up. Again, I'll get to the comments and questions about Adam Hill and the situation with Tiana Arata here. Let's just let the rest of this protest play out. I believe it's almost over.
You guys are amazing. You guys are powerful. Your voices, your pins, everything. We all need them. We need them for Tiana. Everybody get that? So I'm going to share something real quick. This is very important. This is pretty much all I'm going to say. You guys already know what's going on. Okay? Without revealing a lot of
This guy
information,
just clapped in my
just
ear.
know that they need our help.
This is a public place. I can
They need
film
our
here.
help really badly. We have some things in the works, and the leadership will get to everybody, and we'll let you know exactly what's going to happen. We can start beyond Kurt. Because there are cameras over here, I'm not going to say any more information than that. Just know that in the next coming days, you'll all be given information on how we can support her fiscally, if you know what I'm saying. Okay? They're going through some stuff right now. It's unfair. The people that like to get their house, watch them, try to break into their house. This stuff is happening. So as some of you know, they're not exactly where they should be. So, everyone, and I just want you to know, even though on Sunday you guys gave me a whole bunch of money, I gave it to Tiana. Okay? The point is, in the next coming days, we will all find out exactly how we can help them fiscally, okay? Everybody got that? And I also want to say thank you guys so very much for coming out here, without a doubt. You guys are amazing. You're amazing people. You don't even have to be here. You don't have to do this, but you know what's right. And you know exactly what we need to do to make sure that this bullshit doesn't continue on.
Hello. Thank you all for coming. I didn't really have anything prepared. I just wanted to say that I'm extremely proud of everybody who's been putting a lot of effort. Thank you to Leah. Thank you to those who have been literally just been at it and creating counts and just trying to get those numbers up and just trying to get the information spread. I would like everyone to kind of just take a moment, like what Michael said, like our actions may have indirectly, directly affected how big it's gotten, but I mean the word direct is still indirect or indirect, so we all did something, so I want you all to give yourselves a pound in the back for that. I want us to take a moment to sit in that not just me, but a lot of others believed, or not believed, but we all thought, and we all believed that San Luis County, Fort PD, Ian Parkinson, Dan Dow, they all thought that they could do the charges that they were doing, do the things that they were doing, and thought nobody other than us would make a noise about it. They thought that SLO was. They say that SLO's not in a little bubble, but they obviously countered what they just said, because. Louder. There we go. Sorry. So they thought that since we're supposedly in this little bubble, that they could do all the charges that they were doing, keep just going the way that they were, until we ramped it up to where public eye really was on it. And then we literally saw Dan Dow, kind of a scared dog, back himself into a corner and start saying, no, it's not this, that, let me try to get all legal with his terms and stuff. I want that. And we had a Zoom meeting with him last night. And this guy he did not know what to say. He's not just, he doesn't have the proper, whatever, EPA qualifications. He just sucks. Everything he said was so prompted because he's so scared of what we're actually doing. And he's saying that I'm not going to allow public pressure to make me give an opinion or whatever. He's only saying that because public pressure literally put him in that position. So yeah, no, public pressure is exactly what we need to be doing. Yes. And I also want to take a moment to talk about Elios and the fact that yes, we need to really, we're Tiana's cases now, and we still need to keep helping out with that. I would like us to also direct some of that energy towards him in any way that we can, because his case is coming up soon too, and to be honest, he does not have the same court, and it's not directly on us to drive it that way, but as a community, and we care, we want to help out as much as we can. So the things that we can do to help him out, I would hope that we can, within these couple of weeks, really organize and start to really ramp that up for him, help him get some more publicity out there as well. Get some more publicity out there. So with that said, I just hope that everybody just continues what you're doing. The more, I mean, look at where you were. If you were at the beginning of these protests to where we're at now, think about how much you've grown. Think about all the information that you've really been taking in. Think about the person that you've just been really evolving into. And think about are you satisfied with that? Are you happy? And I hope that a lot of you are. And I hope that you want to continue that, because what you're doing is amazing. The characters that we're all becoming are amazing. We're all becoming people that we all want to see in our present day life and in the future for our little ones, our sisters and brothers and kids and so forth. So I just want that all to sit in, and you know, it's not done yet, but know that we are making noise. We're making a lot more noise than we thought we probably were, and that each one of us really does have the amount to create some type of change, even if it's only with a couple of our friends, even if it's only getting that information out. The whole idea was just to get one person to sign the petition. It started off as 5,000, 10,000. I mean, the petition for her is now at 150,000. That's because just the matter of thought of get at least one person a day. We've gotten that far, so I want us to know, and personally, that San Luis County, no, like honestly, we're the ones who create the sunshine. We're the ones who have the word, so we will literally determine how we want our county to be. This guy who wants to run and is recording us and getting all our information to the cops, anything to help further his case, should know that he's not helping himself out with getting our vote. So I want him to understand that.
Thank you for the support. I'm running for city council.
There you go. No, it's okay. Let him speak it, so that we can see him clearly for who he is, what he's doing, and
My name is Jeffrey Spencer.
I don't want to be publicly recorded. I don't want to be publicly recorded. You don't have the right to record me.
City council.
So you don't have the right to publicly record me. I don't give you that right.
I'm sorry. Thank you, Kevin. I appreciate it. This is why this is your leader. This is your leader. Jeff, this is your moment. Come on, Jeff. Come on, Jeff.
Go ahead, speak. No, that's fine. Let's speak.
All right, let's go. Do I have quiet so I can speak? All right, thank you. Here's my opinion. I'm 56 years old. I am a lifetime resident of this town, which is probably more than anyone here can actually say. I don't know. But I've lived there and I've done it. I've hiked every one of these mountains. I swam in the lake and it was clean and it had fish. This is a beautiful town. And I'll tell you, over the last 5 years, I've watched a great division here in my home. I'm not happy with it. My opinion is all about love, not hate. Peace. And what I'm seeing here and with these protests is not love.
It's our home too.
It is.
I'm gonna speak
Thank
after
you,
this.
Kevin. I appreciate your manners.
Just talk.
I'm sorry, everyone else is using you, Kevin.
No,
You're
no
the
one's
leader.
using
I'm
you.
sorry, I'm addressing your leader.
Everybody let him talk. Let him talk.
Thank you.
Please, we're here to let him talk.
It is my opinion that no one is going to win a fight. And it is also my opinion that any kind of hate by blocking the streets, highways, or forcing these poor people to have to board up their windows out of fear. Hey, you can laugh, but I'm sure they're not laughing. The fact they put boards on their windows shows that it's not funny to them. It seems everything is funny to you folks if no one agrees with you. Anyone who does not agree with you is either racist, homophobic, or just plain not going to be listened to. The fact of the matter here is what everyone wants is accountability. And for accountability, we have to change policy. Policy, we're in San Luis Obispo, is prohibiting video body cams from the police officers to be handed over. I'm angry about it. You're angry about it. I had a March for Justice last year, and it was based exactly on this. Accountability and transparency. Now, if we all work together towards transparency and having these body cams actually released, like I've been trying, thank you, like I've been trying to do for so long. Now,
Actually, it was my mom that was wearing the MAGA hat.
Let him
even
speak.
better.
I'm sorry, folks, this says spec, and it is a family hat. It is not a MAGA hat, sir.
You got momentum.
But, thank you. Now, I tried at my March of Justice, along with 7 other individuals that were wronged by Slow PD. Anyone here who checks, I am by far the most outspoken against San Luis PD. Go ahead and Google it and check. And if you read anything about me, it's all about transparency, all about justice. And it's all about these police being accountable, handing over their body cams. George Floyd probably wouldn't be dead today if there was no problem with that. Well, I know no one seems to want to put his name anymore, but it was the big issue to start. Why aren't we hearing anything about Mr. Floyd anymore? Can you answer that? I didn't think so. So, I got 2 minutes. Thank you, Captain. 2 minutes. This is far more than I get at city council meetings. Trust me. And you guys are a better audience. You're a lot nicer. Thank you. I also believe that in transparency, the voice of the people need to be heard. Now, in city council meetings, they have limited it to 3 minutes. We need at least 5 minutes, not 15 minutes. Who can say what you have to say in 2 to 3 minutes? You can't. That's why you folks are having this protest, so your voice is heard. What I want to see is you work together and try to bring transparency. Instead of any kind of anger, any kind of hate, show love and demand transparency through accountability by releasing these body cams. It's what we all seek, accountability. You, me, everyone, not just here across the nation. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to actually speak to you.
Hold on, everybody.
Thank you,
Hold on,
Kevin.
everybody. Hold on.
Hold on. Listen.
No, just hold on. Don't worry. Be serious.
Do I have to sit?
So now,
I don't have to sit
now
and get up and roll over and stuff like that.
Give him the floor. Give you the floor. So, here's what's gonna happen. People have questions for you.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I'd love to answer any of them.
All right, but listen. One thing you need to know is by saying that we need to work together. What do you think this is? This is working together. I see nothing but white people, black people, Asian people, people all working together for a common cause and a common goal. So you need to open your eyes before you speak on that. Okay? So you're wrong there. Two. The second
I
thing.
can answer that after you're
The
done.
second thing is, this is not a question. Okay? This is me speaking to you. Two. When people are asking you, please don't interview somebody who's mentally challenged and you're taking advantage of him like you. That is disrespectful. Disrespectful. I'm talking about both of you two. That is disrespectful. That is
You
disrespectful.
have been publicly reporting a mentally retarded person, and you know deep inside your heart
Both
that
of
is
you.
not right.
Both of you.
That is not the kind of publicity we
Who
need
might
in
that
this.
be? I'm a little confused. Can you point
Hold
this
on.
out?
Listen to me. Listen to me. Everybody back up. Back up. We're not surrounding him. You're not surrounding him. This is not a mob.
By the way, for the record,
Not a mob.
Calvin was pointing at me.
Whatever we do reflects onto others.
He was pointing at me as well as
How many people here
Jeff
would like to
Spector.
see me and Calvin in front of everyone have a sit down and a debate? And like a negotiation? Thank you. I see one clap. Come on, man. I would really like to sit down and have this.
Back up. Back up.
Can you just take a step back, please? Can you take a
Can you
step
step
back?
back, please?
Okay.
Media,
on the
can
radio
you
or
please step back?
TV?
Just a couple steps back. And you are still correct. Will you please take a couple steps
But
back?
can you please back up as well?
I asked you to
Can you back up, please?
Hey, can you back up?
Can you back up, please? How many times do I gotta ask you? Can you please back up?
Excuse me, ma'am. No, hey, don't push me. Don't push me. Excuse me, ma'am.
It's against the law for you to record us without
Actually, no. I have the First Amendment right to be recording here. This is a public place. We're at a public park. I don't need a waiver. This is a public place. Courts have ruled repeatedly I'm allowed to record here.
Listen to me. Listen to me. All right. Right now, you are ruining a good thing.
I know.
Listen to me. Listen.
I want to
Hey, give him the floor. They gave you the floor. Okay. Listen to me. I have lived here a long time.
How long?
40 years. Okay? Yes.
I didn't realize.
That's right. Okay. So,
I've got
I have
16
climbed
years
these
on you,
mountains.
but that's good.
I have been here when the little lake was all the way over in Madonna Mountain. So I know what you're talking
So
about.
did you swim in it?
So I know what you're talking about.
That the duck?
But the deal is this. When you come here, okay, and everybody is giving you the respect to film and record, and we ask you politely and nicely to please don't interview someone who doesn't have the mental capabilities to speak to you correctly. And you. And yes, I'm talking to you and all your YouTube viewers, too. Both of you guys are wrong, okay? You're wrong.
Kevin, I have the right to film
I
here.
don't care.
It's not up to you who I decide to interview.
You're talking to somebody who doesn't know what's going on, okay? And then you want to use that, both of you guys, you want to use it and flip it around. Now, I understand
from here with
I
all
understand
the
what you're
politics
trying
of
to
this
do.
town, sir.
I know what you're trying to do, and I understand
What am I
exactly
doing?
what's going on with you. And I understand, and I appreciate a lot of the things that you're trying to do to get on this council. But let me tell you,
It's not
to
about
say,
getting on the
to
council. It's
say,
about
hold on, hold on,
freedom of the
I have the floor. Thank
You have the floor.
It's about this, my friend. The fact is, there is no hate in this group. This is nothing but love. This has been love. Now, let me tell you guys, let me tell you. Come on, nobody hates you.
Show me some love, guys.
No one hates you.
All right.
We respect you.
We do respect. Thank
But
you.
no one has any hate for you.
that.
But the point is this, listen.
I appreciate that,
Listen,
sir.
listen.
Right on. Thank you. I appreciate
Listen.
that. Thank you, sir.
Listen, the point is this. There's no hate out here. This is nothing but love. If there was hatred out here, someone would have kicked your ass by now. Straight up. And I'm just being real with
that's
you.
kind of a threatening comment.
I'm not saying I have. I just said someone probably would have.
Does someone here want to kick my ass?
No, that's
Okay. I don't know what you're talking about, Kevin.
Here's the deal.
Why all the violence?
Next time you come out here,
Why can't we
next
all
time you come
talk
out here,
peacefully
just
about
be
love?
respectful.
How
Just
did
be
that even
respectful.
come up about
Just be
anybody
respectful.
beating my
Just
ass?
be respectful. That's
Hi,
it.
how are you?
Ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, Kevin's got the
listen,
floor, man.
Hey, listen. I want to thank everybody for coming out here. I'm sorry we had to deal with all this right here, but I have nothing but respect and admiration for everyone out here, including you.
Thank you. Speak some love, Kevin.
As we always say, make sure when we leave here, we leave in twos and threes. Do not walk alone. Do not walk alone. Also, I would like to say I'm sorry personally that I gave this guy even minutes, but I'm glad at the same time that we can all hear him. So
so we know the exact thing that he's about, so that we know more of what we are doing and why we are driven by it, because of people like him.
So wait a minute, we're all kind of working together, aren't we? I thought we're working together.
Working together.
Hi everyone. I wanted to say that
not hate.
when we were marching in the streets today and I was leading you guys in chant, I felt that this protest today has been the most powerful one I've led. I heard everyone. When I was screaming, I heard you guys screaming right the hell back. When I said we not gonna stop for all the charges and drugs, I heard you guys say directly at me. And I want to say, use this energy. Use what you know is right to fight people like this man right here. Use what you know. And to you, sir, I know that you know you. I was listening to you, and I want to let you know that I listened. I received your message. I understand what you're saying.
Thank you.
I understand your viewpoint, but you said something to me that just didn't sit right with me. And I quote, causing these poor businesses to lock up their stuff.
Yes,
I want to say to you, violence against the property is not the same as violence against people. Violence against property is not the same as violence against people. If we break businesses' windows, that is not violence against the property. That's violence against the government. That is violence against, when we break windows, yes, it is violence against the government. But this is a government whose system is flawed. This is the government who does not fight for us. So when we break windows, that is not violence against property, it's violence against the government that we have been fighting for over 600 years to freaking change. And if it takes me, and if it takes all the stakeholders to fix those windows, if it's broken, it's in the right name, because I know why I am here. So if you want to use that, if that is your argument about why we shouldn't be protesting, we shouldn't be walking down the highways, when have we ever been heard without a little bit of violence involved? Yeah. Why does it take us to be violent to get people like you in the government to hear us? Why do we have to get violent to get our opinions across? I want you to go home and think about it like that. The way you embarrassed yourself out here today, I want you to go home and think about it. This is not what we are about. And I hope that you take a shower, and do what needs to be done, and think about why we are here. Think about really why are people of black, white, Mexican, Asian, why are we all here together if we're not working together? We're all here for the bigger picture, and that is dropping these charges on Tiana Arado.
So it's all right for the government to punish business owners, right? This is what you're saying. You want to punish business owners because you're mad at the government. Yeah, I see that. I don't agree. I don't believe business owners should be punished because you're mad at the government. So everybody can hear me. I'm pretty loud. I don't need a blowhorn to hear me.
Thank you all for coming out. Make sure you walk together.
So you can't hear me? Well, of course you're not.
You want people to listen to you. Hands and eyes up, everybody. Know the things will be coming down very soon.
Are you kidding? I just had. How many people listen to me? Well, and he interrupted a white guy. Isn't that okay? That's equality. We interrupted each other. That's diversity, isn't it? That's diversity at its best. A black guy and a white guy interrupting each other? Is everything a racial thing?
Nothing but love and life.
If you love and respect people here, put your mask on. We're in the middle of a pandemic.
So please go
Maybe you
home.
can talk to this guy. He hasn't had a mask all day. The guy with the big white jacket.
It doesn't matter. We're talking to you now. Put your mask on.
It's selective, right?
It's not selective.
Well, it is. It's coming from our You're showing how it's coming from your students. Yeah.
I don't have a mask. He doesn't have a mask.
I know. Hey, thanks, bro. Hey, and thank you again for shaking my hand. You're cool. Hey, I'm all about peace and freedom.
That's what he wants.
Alright guys, that wasn't expected, and I haven't been looking at your comments for some time. And yeah, sorry, it's getting dark and the picture quality is going down. I apologize. Let's see if I could do anything about that. I don't know. But the protest is ending. I mean, if there's gonna be action, I'll stay here and continue filming. The man in the blue shirt is Jeff Specht. He's running for city office here in San Luis Obispo. Protesters chanting out or asking who's going to Santa Maria. Santa Maria is a city about 30 minutes south of here. Yeah, Annabelle, what should I do about the focus? I'm not leaving. Jeff Specht, the man in the blue shirt, is still here. There's still some conversation between him and protesters.
But they've never been vaccinated because of him. No, I don't think it really matters. I don't think they care. Maybe in big cities, certainly not. I don't believe that for sure. I've experienced that. Has like 5 groups.
Okay, I'm a category.
Pardon?
1, 2, 3.
White supremacy groups. There's several groups on the national.
The only one I know of, the only one that I know of used to be called Slash, but they've been gone for a long time. I never even.
Oh, well, thanks to the lights, now I have better lighting, or maybe better focus.
But I mean, no matter what, whether it's the police department,
I haven't really seen it.
you know the guy in that.
How does the saying end? What's the rest of the saying about a few bad apples?
Oh, you got it. Ruin the rest of the dance.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, it's all good. 3.
Believe it or not, the park is
like making the best white. I don't know if that's helping or not.
Making the best what?
Like the best, they look like real.
Oh, real reflector vests? But they're not real reflector vests?
I know, I'm saying my light. I don't know if my light's helping.
Anyway, I appreciate
comments about Santa Maria. Interesting comments. I guess. Anyway. It looks like we have protesters telling Jeff Specht angrily that it's not respectful to film people who don't consent to be recorded, which is basically the same line that people are hurling at me. And frankly speaking, I've got that line doesn't fly with me. I've got the right to be filming. Yeah, it's getting dark. Sorry about that. But I'm not going to cut off the stream yet, and I still have comments and questions to respond to. Thank you, Ropey Substance. Interesting name. Let's see if we can listen in on more of the conversation.
I mean,
I'm already on the camera right now.
You did already.
I didn't think I needed
We're already
to.
past that. We're past it. Yeah, we're very past it.
I would like to see everybody get along, man.
We would love to get along with you, but you were forcing him.
Well, how about this? How about everybody get together and we all sit down?
I mean, we
What do you think we've been?
Yes,
Wait a
yes,
second.
yes,
Question. What do you think has been happening for the past, like, I don't know, 4 or 5 months that all these
The city's been shut
not
down.
even just the city.
streets are shut down.
This is a national,
People are boarding the
international
windows.
movement.
the economy because of COVID-19 just opening up?
I just asked you.
They get shut down because
Let
of
him,
the
let him do his thing. Let's go. Let's go. He's kind of going home. Good to save you on what he just said. He's made his point. We appreciate it. Good luck when you run the city council.
Thank you, Kevin. I appreciate the support. Big time. Absolutely. Hey, anytime. Are you from San Luis?
Let's go! Time to go!
Protest is over. Time to go home.
Jeff, any comments?
Any comments?
We're still live. The lighting isn't so great. But
God bless America.
Hold on, let's flip the camera. All right, there we go. Lighting isn't so great, but people should be able to hear you. Go for it.
God bless America. God bless our flag. We need more people to stand up for freedom and speak up against if they believe the wrongdoing's going on. Come on, folks, speak up. Something's got to be done here. I've had enough protesting. There's got to be some kind of negotiating taking place. And it's not happening. Is this going to go on forever? I hope not. Not if I can do anything about it. I've had quite enough. My name is Jeffrey Specht. I'm running for City Council of San Luis Obispo. And if you want to see change, vote for me. Specht for City Council.
And that's just to reiterate, that's City Council. Because last time I interviewed you here,
I'm sorry, I was
saying you're
running for mayor. There's a reason I am now running for City Council, and I urge everyone to vote for Miss Sweeney for mayor. She's a good woman, and we had a long talk before I decided to run for City Council instead of mayor. And we're on the same page. We're both tired of having all this done in our city. We want to see change. We want to take back San Luis Obispo and make it happy and free again. No more fear. No more bullying. No more boarding up of the windows of these businesses that spend an awful lot of money on overhead. We just can't afford it in our economy, and there's got to be change. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, guys. Oops, didn't mean to flip it that way. I know you wanted me to give you a look later on at the courthouse steps. I think I'm going to make my way over there now. Granted, I mean, there's still some protesters here. Maybe another confrontation between Jeff Specht and the protesters occurs. Or maybe not. I'm not positive. I mean, how would I know? But let's hang here for a minute or so, and then head back over the courthouse steps. In the meanwhile, I know I've got comments and questions to address, and there's stuff coming up probably an hour or more ago that I was supposed to respond to. I still haven't responded to. Let me try to think out loud. Adam Hill, I know I need to respond to a comment or question on Adam Hill, the San Luis Obispo County Supervisor, found dead last week. I think people are asking about whether or not Tiana Arata is coming out to the protests right now because she's not in jail, or why she's not coming out to the protests. As far as I'm aware, she's been advised by her attorney not to come out to the protests or to lay low. I think that's the question that people were asking about Tiana Arata. So there may have been other questions. And now it looks like everyone is clearing out of the park except for Jeff Specht and the man who's talking to him, who seems semi-supportive. So it looks like the confrontation between Jeff Specht and protesters has ended. Meanwhile, I'll make my way back into the downtown core and be monitoring the chat throughout. I still have the Adam Hill question to address. Let's see what else there is to address. Good night. Thank you. You talking to me?
Yeah.
I don't need a buddy. Thank you. They're asking me if I have a buddy. Anyway, yeah, they walk home with the buddy system. Let's see. I probably missed about a 20, maybe even 30-minute span of the chat. I don't know. So if you were asking, or someone's asking, how do you keep your faith in humanity after listening to that much ignorance? I'm not going to say it's all ignorance, but a year like this, with some of the things I've been through and some of the things the world has been through, maybe it would be difficult for me to keep my faith in humanity, but I'm enjoying the ride, I guess I would say. Elaine's saying slow is nice. Slow is known for being somewhat of a beautiful, sleepy coastal town. As a reporter for an investigative news outlet here, I know it's not always so sleepy and calm. But then again, I don't have the typical I don't have the perspective of a typical person coming in and out of San Luis Obispo. I've got my own work history here, I guess personal history as well. Lived here for 6 years. Joey, are you referring to the march against or upcoming protest against human trafficking? If that's what you're referring to, I have my eye on going to one of those later this month. I can't assure you that will happen, but okay, you're saying yes. Yeah, I was in LA over the weekend. I apologize that I didn't do any live streaming. There was some protest action in LA over the weekend, including, oh hey Magic Monkey. Magic Monkey, you missed all the action. But that's alright, you can watch the replay. There was protest action in LA over the weekend. I was trying to get caught up on some work, and I was driving back from San Luis Obispo. As Magic Monkey is well aware. And I was not expecting to be here today. This is a spur of the moment thing. I believe the LA Times just ran an article on the Black Unity protest encampment right outside LA City Hall. That's been there for some time now, and that I've covered prior times. I haven't read that article, if it indeed exists. Regarding the Adam... let's see first the Chaz comment. That has not typically been the case in Slow. Which guy, Kevin? Who's Kevin? Oh, you're probably referring to Kevin. Yes, I interviewed Kevin before. Let him talk at length and share his story from the first protest out here. The first more chaotic protest when not necessarily the protesters were chaotic, but became a chaotic situation with police tear gassing. I wasn't there for that. I don't know exactly what may have instigated the tear gassing. But yeah, I did an at-length interview with Kevin. Today he's been a bit hostile toward me, but he's allowed to have his opinion. He's not my editor though, so I don't work for him. He doesn't decide who I interview and who I don't interview. That's up to me. But at least with Kevin, there's been some line of communication, which is appreciated. Most protesters here will not give an interview to me. And before, I've seen protesters, actually several times I've seen protesters here be instructed not to give interviews to me. Consul, you asked multiple questions today. Maybe you'll recall what you're asking earlier that I didn't get to. Your question about how many of them live here and are local college kids. So San Luis Obispo is known as a college town. In fact, it's my college town. There's a university here called Cal Poly. It's where I went to college. And typically, the town is full of college students. There's also a community college here. It's called Cuesta College. Typically, the town is full of college students during fall, winter, and spring, and empties out a bit of college students over the summer. We're not in normal times. We're in COVID times right now. And it's summer, and most students, I believe, will not return to campus this fall or next month. So not so many college students here right now, at least compared to what it's often like. Although often in summer there aren't so many college students here. But still, I'd say there are fewer college students than normal in town right now. But it's a very young crowd at most of these protests here in San Luis Obispo. And I think you have a combination of high school students, college students. The quarterback of the Cal Poly football team has been at a bunch of these protests. I interviewed him briefly at one of them. But a lot of young people in general, whether they're students or not, make up the core group of protesters here in San Luis Obispo. I've now returned to Monterey Street. I'm across the street from Mission San Luis Obispo, right here. And lo and behold, right next to Giuseppe's restaurant. CTM writes, I want to fund for your time. I would join you filming, but I have to work during these protests. Lots of people have to work. That is completely understandable. For those of you who weren't tuned in when the protesters were marching by here, this is Giuseppe's restaurant. It's a popular Italian restaurant here in downtown San Luis Obispo. In 2018, Giuseppe's gave a campaign contribution to Sheriff Ian Parkinson's re-election campaign. And because of that, protesters have been protesting on the street and sidewalk right out here. And once the night Tiana Arado was arrested, marched right through this parklet where people are dining. There used to be a Giuseppe's in Pismo Beach. I forget if it burned down or what. Or maybe there still is a Giuseppe's in Pismo Beach. It's been quite a few years since I've lived here, so I forget. But there were multiple Giuseppe's. There are allegations of extortion or attempted extortion of downtown San Luis Obispo businesses by protesters. Those allegations have been floating around town for at least a couple weeks now. And some people have been bringing them up on local talk radio. And I believe my publication, Calcos News, will be reporting on them sometime soon. Someone's asking about an In-N-Out. There are multiple In-N-Outs in the area, but the city of San Luis Obispo banned drive-thrus. So there's no In-N-Out in San Luis Obispo, but there are 2 In-N-Outs in San Luis Obispo County, one north of here, one south of here. Someone's asking how you can donate to me. Thank you very much. For anyone who would like to contribute monetarily to the broadcast, my PayPal link is paypal.me/nomadjournalist. That is paypal.me/nomadjournalist. You can also find that link on the About page of my YouTube channel, and I will put the link in the description of this video after I'm done and after the video processes. Thank you very much again to everyone who contributes. It certainly helps to cover some of the costs that come along with my nomadic journalistic pursuits. Someone's asking about Adam Hill. What party did Adam Hill belong to, and do you think it relates to the recent FBI raids in the area? Adam Hill was a member of the Democratic Party. I guess I need to take a step back. Adam Hill was a San Luis Obispo County supervisor, as I'm now just half a block away from both County Government Center, which houses the supervisor chambers, and the courthouse. Adam Hill was a Democratic San Luis. I hope I did not just. I'm getting a call, which I hope did not just interrupt the broadcast. Can you still see me? Can you still see me, or rather, can you see the footage? I hope it didn't go black. All right, we're good. I really don't need anyone calling right now. All right. Yeah. So as we're coming up on the courthouse and the county government center, county government center is a lit up building right there. Courthouse right here. Adam Hill had been serving on the county board of supervisors, which is like the county commission, basically highest elected office in the county, highest elected political office, basically. He'd been on the county board of supervisors since the beginning of 2009, and he was found dead inside his Pismo Beach home last week, where I was reporting. The cans are gone. That solves the mystery. Well, no, it really doesn't, actually. I guess the new mystery is, where did they go? I was told by one lady who was taking photos here that the cans were going to be donated to, oh, I forget. I think she was saying Salvation Army or some other charity. I don't remember, but word was that the cans that the canned food that the protesters placed on the steps today on top of their demands were going to be donated to some charity, presumably to feed hungry people. But I can't confirm that. This is where I was filming for much of the protest, outside the San Luis Obispo courthouse. And you may have missed it when they were laying the canned foods down. One of the leaders today was saying they were doing something like what was done at Purdue University, I believe, in the 1960s, with laying down bricks. I think that's what he said. Across the street, this building that's semi-lit up is the San Luis Obispo County Board of Supervisors. Excuse me, is the San Luis Obispo County Government Center. Inside this part of the building right here is the Board of Supervisors chamber. I'll now flip the camera around to go back to the Adam Hill question. Adam Hill was a Democrat. He was under FBI investigation at the time of his death. He was... Sorry about the lighting. The lighting's not going to be so great. Adam Hill's home was Pismo Beach home was raided by the FBI back in March. Likewise, his office, which I believe is on the 4th floor of this building, was also raided by the FBI. Adam Hill was under FBI investigation, and he was found dead last week at his Pismo Beach home. Now, there was a lot of question as to whether or not he was found dead of a gunshot wound, and someone was asking about that earlier on in this broadcast. Initially, there were some reports that he was found dead of a gunshot wound. Then, at least my publication, Calcos News, put out a clarification saying we don't know if he's dead of a gunshot wound. I can't tell you with any certainty, but I'm hearing something through the grapevine that might suggest that it was something other than a gunshot wound that killed him. But I can't give you any confirmation on that. I guess I would say stay tuned to Calcos News, calcosnews.com for reporting on that. And for those of you who weren't tuned into the broadcast last week, when I bolted away from a protest happening right here and over to Pismo Beach, Calcos News has been reporting, myself included, on all kinds of corruption allegations relating to Supervisor Adam Hill for years, and he did not like us, to say the least. And it was his stated intent to shut down Calcos News. So there wasn't good blood between the two of us, or between himself and my publication here, Calcos News, which I addressed along with Karen Veely on the broadcast last week. Well, we're not yet to the bottom of what happened to him and how he died. He did come out publicly, I should say repeatedly, and say in the months and even years leading up to his death that he was very open about having mental health problems. And he was in and out of mental health facilities in the months after or between him being raided back in March and his death last week. There's a lot of suspicion that he committed suicide, but I can't confirm that. What I do know is that he certainly was under FBI investigation at the time of his death. Back in March, the FBI raided his office up in this building behind me, as well as his house in Pismo Beach, where we were last week. Let me see some of the questions you're asking. I don't know why people are arguing in the chat. I haven't been able to monitor the chat as well today as other days. Whatever. If Kevin got mad at me for filming, that's fair enough. He can get mad at me for filming, and I can film. I mean, that addresses that. Oh, someone's asking weed. Yes, there. I don't know with certainty, but there is lots and lots of suspicion that that at least part of the FBI investigation that Adam Hill was a focal point in relates to marijuana and organized crime here in San Luis Obispo County. I can't say that with certainty, but there's a lot of suspicion that's the case, and my best guess is sooner rather than later we'll find out from the FBI. Well, Kamala Harris is from my home state, but I'm no political pundit, so ask someone else what they think of Kamala Harris. I don't know how far back to scroll. Yes, Calcos News is my publication locally, or I've worked for Calcos News for the majority of the past decade. Calcosnews.com is the website. It's an investigative reporting news outlet based here in San Luis Obispo. It's not up to me to rate Kamala Harris. You guys can rate Kamala Harris. I think there's going to be a lot of talk about Kamala Harris and marijuana, but I don't think there's any relation to the local allegations surrounding the marijuana industry here. We do know that a major player in the local marijuana industry made lots of campaign contributions to local officials, particularly on city councils locally and mayors, and he ended up getting his dispensaries approved and got coveted permit spots that others sought and did not get. What other comments or questions did I skip over? Probably I didn't address the whole situation with Tiana Arata and Dan Dow and Elias Batista to the extent that the chat was hoping for earlier. To go back to Elias Batista, well, there were some interesting comments about breaking windows when there was the confrontation between Jeff Speck and the protesters. You can just watch the replay to catch that. Elias Batista, I may have been drowned out when I was saying this. Cicero, I can't tell you whether Dan Dow goes hard or soft, but I wouldn't bet that he goes soft. Hope that answers your question. I'm not 100% sure, but it appears from video taken as Tiana Arata was being arrested that Elias Batista kicked an officer in the groin. And you even heard people today talking about someone kicking an officer in the balls as Tiana Arata was being arrested, or right before or right after. I believe that was Elias Batista. There's video circulating online of, as the arrest of Arata was going down, an officer shoving a man and then the man kicking the officer in the groin. Looked like he kicked him in the balls, but couldn't tell you for sure. And then that officer and others chasing after the man who kicked the cop. I believe that was Elias Batista, but I'm not positive. Someone was also asking earlier about who smashed the glass, or who smashed the windshield that caused the glass to hit the 4-year-old in the backseat of the car, at least according to police. And as I was mentioning earlier, the CHP, at least the San Luis Obispo unit of the CHP, put out a photo of a man with red hair who they said are searching for with regard to using the skateboard to smash that window the day Arata was arrested. So there's a question I just wanted to address and miss. Okay, someone's asking how come there's so little news about Adam Hill. Can't tell you. I would suspect that if the news were that Adam Hill was arrested rather than Adam Hill was found dead, then there would be a lot more coverage of it. Someone's commenting on the Tribune. The Tribune is the local newspaper. The Tribune ran a headline calling Adam Hill a champion, or something like that. A lot of people have been describing Adam Hill as a champion for the homeless, which, knowing what I know, is quite peculiar, but I don't think we have time to get into that. But the Tribune, the local newspaper, has been praising Adam Hill in the aftermath of his death. I was going to say that if he had been arrested rather than found dead, I think there would be much more coverage of it. But that's not to say that people haven't noticed. Everyone on up to the governor in California has put out statements of condolence following Adam Hill's death and praising him. I think even Governor Gavin Newsom praised Adam Hill for being someone who did so much to help the homeless. Something I'm quite skeptical of, but you'd have to read my reporting from years ago to get the backstory on that. CTM's telling me to get some rest. I came back over here to the courthouse because you guys were asking earlier to document what happens here after the protesters lay down the cans and leave. Well, the canned food is not here. To repeat what I was saying earlier today, there are rumors going around town that there are business owners concerned about the protest, the march with the canned food, and that the canned food might be thrown at businesses or something like that. As far as I know, there wasn't anything aggressive done with the canned food, but it created a lot of buzz around town this afternoon, and that's what brought me over here. CTM, thank you very much. I really appreciate your participation, your interest, and if you indeed donate, thank you very much for that. Likewise, Magic Monkey, it was good seeing you the other day. That was one thing I did over the weekend. Someone's saying my work will be used in history documentaries. That would be nice. It'd also be nice if Annabelle and I put together a documentary of our own. Maybe that will happen. Who knows? There is a lot to review from what happened today. I was not expecting that confrontation, and there were people pointing the finger not just at Jeff Speck, but at myself, which they're welcome to do, and I'm welcome to film. MZ Liberty Rat, I think you've been on throughout the broadcast. Thank you for participating. Cicero's asking Slow Chop when? I think Slow Chop existed 10 years ago or whenever Occupy was, and it was right here. And I was here for that. There were people camped out on this lawn behind me out in front of the courthouse during the Occupy movements until eventually law enforcement kicked them out. But they were here for a while. I think I've addressed just about everything that I wanted to address. You guys were asking earlier, has there been national coverage of Tiana Arata? And you got your answer from the protesters. They were discussing the various national publications that have picked up the story. And as I was mentioning earlier, there's a civil rights attorney who I believe is based out of Philadelphia, who's threatening to send busloads of protesters here if Dan Dow does not drop the charges. And again, District Attorney Dan Dow has yet to file charges or even make an announcement about whether or not he will file charges. I do have an email. It's on the About page of my YouTube channel. If you search, you'll find it. Thank you, Annabelle, for being tuned in from a distance today. That would be my Calcos News email, Dacine. You're welcome to email me on that. Alright, any final comments or questions? I was not expecting this to be a 3-hour broadcast. Dacine, you can use that email. I'll respond to it. Joey, Twitch has come up a couple times. I've also found out that sometimes I get restreamed on the Woke channel on Twitch. So maybe I already have a presence on Twitch without even being on Twitch. Thank you, Console. Thank you for being tuned in throughout this broadcast. At least I think you were. I hope I addressed your comments and questions. You're welcome, Olympius. Likewise, thank you for being tuned in throughout this broadcast. Likewise, MZ Liberty Rad, I really appreciate that. For who was asking, am I streaming tomorrow? I wasn't expecting to be streaming today. You never know. Probably not, but you never know. I'm not angry at Kevin. Kevin can be upset with me for filming. He can be upset with my interview choices. That's for him to that's for him to make up his mind on. And you know what, I'll just make one last point on that. Kevin has literally instructed protesters not to give me interviews. Maybe that says something. And other organizers here have also instructed protesters not to give me interviews. And I go around trying to conduct interviews, and my attempts get rejected, but Raven One Eye does not reject my interview attempts, so he gets to speak. It's pretty simple. Thank you very much, Consul. Really appreciate that. But enough about that. And likewise, Carol Johnson, you've been a contributor. Thank you very much, Carol. I really appreciate your support. It means a lot and it helps keep me going here. Likewise, Romika Annabelle. I appreciate your support also. Thank you, Dacine. Thank you to everyone who joined in tonight's broadcast. Turned out to be a bit of a surprise broadcast with some twists later on in the stream. So if you missed the action, watch, I don't know, somewhere around like 2/3 into the stream when we're over at the park. There's some action there. Wasn't expecting that. But you can watch the replay once this video processes. Thank you again for everyone who tuned in, for everyone who participated. Especially thank you to those who are contributing monetarily to help sustain this operation. And I don't know where I'll be coming to you from next. Possibly San Luis Obispo, possibly not. But stay tuned to the channel for more live and on-the-ground reports from around the world, and at least for now in California and on the west coast of the United States. Thanks again. Really appreciate you all. Have a good night from San Luis Obispo, California. Goodbye, and see you next time.